This is actually pretty perfect for right here, and I'll tell you why. So, I started doing yoga as a teenager, and have been practicing in Boston since my early 20s. And there's a studio right across the street here called Baptiste, where I've practiced off and on and off and on and off and on as I come in and out of town for ages. And when I was about, I don't know, probably 27, I was at the studio in Boston, and one of the teachers said, you know, you should go on a retreat, you'd love it. So I did. I learned a lot, and there's like 2 or 3 passages in the book where I grab some of my biggest insights from these yoga retreats. What was great is that this morning I went to yoga at around 9. Neil was coming in because it's his birthday today, by the way, if you missed that. This guy got up at 4:30 in the morning to get on a plane to miss the winter storm to be here for this, basically. And he's so fucking wonderful. And I hadn't looked at the schedule. It just so happened that, you know, one of my favorite teachers was teaching this guy Gregor, who happens to have been one of the people I thank in this book for being my teacher. And I had brought a book to give him this morning when I saw that he was the scheduled teacher. Totally forgot about it, left it in my car. So walked over with him this morning and felt like I was doing this drug deal. I was like, in the back of my car, here's a book. So, here we go. Late one night, at a yoga retreat a few years ago, a teacher asked a group of us to try to remember the first instance in our childhoods when we noticed that things were, for lack of a more clinical term, not okay. My answer was so quick to come and so deeply revealing that it made me laugh. It is, in fact, my earliest intact memory. I was 3. There was a tall wooden staircase in our home, and one day I toppled all the way from the 2nd floor to the 1st. I sharply remember that, am I gonna die? Slow motion panic as I tumbled head over heels in a bouncing cartoon blur. I was uninjured, but the fall had been traumatizing, and I ran, weeping and discombobulated, into the kitchen to recount the epic incident to my family. Here's what I remember. And then I have a footnote to my mom, but whatever. I'm sorry! The kitchen was full of people. My mother, probably my stepfather, maybe my 3 older siblings, maybe some other random adults. And none of them believed me. They thought I was making it up, trying to get attention, exaggerating, dramatizing. And there I was, 32 years old, at a yoga retreat, desperately trying to find myself and realizing that everything I'd been doing in my life artistically could basically be summed up like this. Please believe me, I'm real. No, really, it happened. And I sat there and laughed and laughed and cried and laughed at myself. It was so embarrassing. I laughed thinking about all the ridiculous stunts I'd pulled as an introverted, angry punk teenager, dressing like an outlandish freak. But being too insecure and afraid to talk to anybody. That has changed. I laughed thinking about myself as an antisocial college senior who plonked her dead and covered in stage blood body onto different spots around campus, pretending to be dead as a part of her postmodern performance art thesis, attempting to elicit some sort of reaction from the other students. Please, believe me, I'm real. It hurts. I laughed at the canon of heart-wrenching piano songs I'd written as a teenager, which added up to one screaming, pounding manifesto with a single unified theme. Please, believe me, I'm real. I laughed thinking about the hundreds of hours I'd spent standing on a box, gazing silently and wistfully at passers-by, handing them flowers in exchange for money. I laughed thinking about working in a strip club during that same period, gyrating to Nick Cave. I just found a typo. Do you want to want to tell them, while I do this, do you want to tell them about Neil Gaiman's law?
Okay, so Gaiman's first law of being an author is, if you are an author, you will get given a copy of your book. And basically the rule is, the first time you open it and actually seriously start reading your book, you will immediately find a typo. It never fails. And I love the fact that this is the first reading of the book.
That being said, where's Emily Griffin? My amazing editor. She did an amazing job. Oh, she did. This isn't really a typo so much as a kind of a syntax issue. It's readable. I laughed thinking about working in strip clubs during that